Hey everyone, welcome back to KDX Bricks Analytics. I am Kevin, and this is part 2 of the February data table, about 40 sets that we're going to go through. Check out my previous video for part 1, and at the end, I'll give you my top 3 from everything we talk about today, and I'm also going to give you my bottom 3. I've decided to show you the ones that I'm really watching and also show you the ones that I'm not liking so much, even though they are on our sets to possibly invest in table. So let's get right into it. And a quick reminder, from February 1st to 29th, 2024, I watched 39 other videos on YouTube about Lego investing and reselling. That was across 7 channels, and there were 440 Lego set mentions by the presenters. In the last video, we wrapped up with all the sets that had 3 mentions, and now in this video, we're going to talk about all of the sets that have 2 mentions, starting off with 21343, the Viking Village. It has a perfect enthusiasm score of 3.0. It is a targeted exclusive. Here is the set. It does not have a retirement date yet. If it did, according to Brick Fanatics, I would put an R in parentheses in front of the set number and name like I do here on the Eve and Wally Brickheadz set. And when you see that R, that indicates that according to Brick Fanatics, it is expected to retire this current calendar year. Of course, that can change throughout the year. Being February, Brick Fanatics list is probably about 95% accurate. Come Q4, it'll probably be about 99% accurate. And also, if I put Target or Lego or Walmart in parentheses behind the set name, then that means that according to my research, it is a Target exclusive like this Viking Village. I could be wrong on some of these because it can be kind of hard to tell sometimes. So if I am, please let me know in the comments. Back to the Viking Village. This is an amazing set. It's over 2,100 pieces. And if I told you that it is $130, you would say, no way in the world. Well, it is in fact only $130. So that's a pretty good one. It's a 4.6 on Brickset. It just came out in October 23, so it's really way too early to know if it's going to be a good investment or not. But if it has a reasonable shelf life, all other indications are that this one would be really good to pick up and hold on to for a couple years after retirement, and hopefully that will grow in value. I also pulled up on Brickset the new medieval town square. This is from the castle system. I know that these 2 sets are not exactly compatible, but a little bit of imaginative play, castles and Vikings, and it can be fun for kids, but they certainly have some similarities in build, design, and look, and absolutely similarities in desirability. This new medieval town square is awesome. $230 for over 3,300 pieces, another great deal. And so this is not going to be a standalone in my opinion, maybe in the Vikings world, but Lego is clearly making other castle, Viking, pirate, the classic theme sets that can all kind of at least be displayed together. And, I don't expect Lego to go do a whole pirate or Viking theme like they did years ago, but one here and there is a really nice touch by Lego, and this one is just really well designed. Looks like a fun build. I don't have it yet, but I will 100% be getting it for my own collection. A lot of nice interior and exterior detail. All the roof sections come apart. Here's the back, so it's completed all the way around. You can pull these off and get inside. I like the bridge over here with the tower. Good rock formations, a little bit of foliage. Even though there are more pictures here, I should probably stop gushing about this one. Before I go on to the next set, I did want to show you this table and also this chart. I showed both of these and a bunch of other tables and charts in a video maybe 4 or 5 ago at this point. This is all for sets that retired at the end of 2022, so they've had a little bit more than a year off the shelves. Of course, we like to hold sets for 2 to 3 years now to maximize the return on investment. Even though the table that we're looking at only has 2 mentions per set, and remember, this is just for 1 month this year. These mentions will increase, and I like to do a cumulative table also showing how the mentions and enthusiasm score grows and changes throughout the year as we get closer to Q4, when hopefully all these sets go on sale and we get good opportunity to buy them. But yeah, so even though it's only 2 mentions so far, high enthusiasm score is translating to pretty good return on investment. So all of the sets that retired at the end of 2022 with E-scores of 2.7 to 3.0 so far have a 35% return on investment if you got it at 20% off, which is kind of the standard minimum on average that you can get Lego sets at. 2.4 to 2.6, 30%. 1% on down. You get into below 2s, it's really not worth it. But anything 2 or higher seems to have a pretty good return on investment, again, from the sets that retired in 2022. And then here is the chart showing the same thing. Pretty linear, really. The orange is if you bought the set 20% off, and then blue is if you bought it at retail. I never buy anything at retail. I always get gifts with purchase, sales, Rakuten, stacking deals, whatever it may be, but I probably average about 30 to 35% off. And if there's a set that I'm really wanting to get and it never goes on sale and I can never stack anything on it, then I'm likely to skip it. And sometimes you just can't invest in every single set that you think is going to grow in value. Now let's go on to the second one on this table with the R expected to retire at the end of this year, 40619, Eve and Wally Brickheadz, 2 mentions, enthusiasm score of 2.5. I'm huge on this one. It's only $15 for 2 Brickheadz. Normally it's $20, but these 2 take less pieces, so I think that's a pretty good price point. There was buzz around this set last year, and it continues this year. I think it'll be a good one for the secondary market. Next one is Star Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jedi Starfighter, 75333, also 2 mentions, E-score 2.5. As you can see on the table, there's a bunch with 2 mentions and an E-score 2.5. So I'm going to stop reading those out until we get to some new mentions and enthusiasm score metrics. But this is a pretty good one. $30, 282 pieces, 3 minifigures. The Tanwi minifigure is the highlight, but Obi-Wan Kenobi also looks pretty good. And then the red color schemed R4 droid. All 3 of the minifigures are exclusive. The problem with this set is that we were expecting it to retire at the end of last year. It was on the Brick Fanatics list for a while, and then it dropped off, and it's been on sale a lot at $24. I'm hoping to find it at 20 or less. Otherwise, I might kind of shy away from this one because the buzz came, it didn't retire, it died off, but it's still early in the year, so we'll see how this one goes. 75364, the New Republic E-Wing versus Shin Hati Starfighter, came out in September of 23, already expected to retire at the end of 24. If that's the case, less than a year and a half shelf life, and this is one I will be looking at closely. $110 for 1,056 pieces. I feel like it should be a $100 set, but you know, prices are going up. 5 minifigures, all of them are exclusive. Is it 5 minifigures? There's 4 of them, and they all look good. Oh, there we go. Shin Hati and her Starfighter. And let's go look at those minifigures real quick. Yeah, Morgan Elsbeth, that nailed it. Absolutely perfect in my opinion. Balin Skrull is pretty good. Captain Porter, I love it. Really good detail. Pretty good, but the helmet and the detail on the good guy Starfighter helmets are awesome. And then I love the Shin Hati minifigure. That really looks like the actress. Good hair, good face expression, good printing and details. And if we go over to Brick Economy, here they are with their values. And let me scroll down and see if it gives us the total. Yep, $61.87 for those 5 exclusive minifigures. Set is 110, so a little bit more than half of the MSRP is already covered by the 5 minifigures. That's a pretty good sign. If it does end up retiring at the end of this year with a short shelf life, I can see it being an enthusiasm score of 2.5. 77013, Escape from the Lost Tomb. This is one of the 3 Indiana Jones sets that came out because of the most recent Indiana Jones movie that was not popular at all. A little more than a year and a half shelf life. $40 for 600 pieces and the 4 minifigures. Really good value by Lego in this and the fighter plane chase or escape. We're going to look at that one here soon, but both of those have good value. But I'm hesitant about these because although the older Indiana Jones sets are doing really well, like $90 to $358 and $50 to $300, fighter plane attack $50 to $271. The new movie was not very good. The last couple haven't been great. Harrison Ford is pretty old in the movies. Yeah, fighter plane chase is the other one, and there just seems to be very little buzz around Indiana Jones, and it's only 3 sets. It's the fighter plane chase, the one that we're looking at, and then the diorama that we looked at in the last video, and I'm not even sure. There we go, and here it is. And so with only 3, I feel like they're going to come and go and be kind of forgotten, but some people are expecting these to knock it out of the park, be an absolute home run. We'll see, but I'm going to watch it closely. If they go on good discount, I would definitely get them because they're already at a great price. 42158, the Technic NASA Mars Rover Perseverance It's $100. Great price point. Super cool. You've heard me say many times NASA sets typically do well, and I think they're great. And yes, this one is chunky and very mechanical and industrial looking, but that's what it is. It's got the little chopper that goes with it. And I like all the exposed Technic pieces in this case because of how industrial and mechanical this vehicle is. A friend of mine who I still keep in touch with actually built like micro motors or nano motors that went on, I think, the chopper actually, but she has 10 little motors, tiny motors that she built that are rolling around or flying around on Mars as we speak. Quick comparable is this 2014 NASA Mars Curiosity rover. It was $30 and it's going for a cool $403. And obviously the new one for Perseverance, yeah, it's bigger, but it looks a lot better with a lot more detail. And so I'm excited about this one when it retires, but we don't have a retirement date yet. All right, now the next three are the three newer that just came out Midi-scale Star Wars ships. We've got the Millennium Falcon, we've got the Tantive 4, and we've got the Invisible Hand. Of course, these three followed last year's Executor Super Star Destroyer. I talked about this one at length in my last video, and I touched on the other three. I love them all. The helmet line seems to be going away. We've got the Star Wars diorama line that some investors like, some of them hate it. I like a lot the dioramas. Maybe they'll be a little bit longer of a hold time, but I like them. But I absolutely like these Midi-scale Star Wars ships. One of the two will kind of replace the helmets, and maybe both will in terms of popularity, but this one is retiring at the end of this year. I'll be picking it up as much as I can, and then these three just came out, probably be retiring at the end of next year, and I love them all. They are expensive. Like this Millennium Falcon is $85. Yeah, it's 921 pieces, but it's full of tiny pieces. It's not that big. Just like with the helmets and the dioramas, I think we will get good opportunities for good discounts on these. 10321, the Icons brick built Corvette in that same, I don't know, they're about 10 to 12 inches long and about 5 inches wide scale. There's a bunch of them out there now. Two mentions, enthusiasm score of 2. I'm a little bit more excited about this. Not many people are excited about these brick built Icons vehicles, but I've been speaking pretty highly of them. They are expensive, $150 at 1,210 pieces, but we're starting to get a pretty good set. I'm not going to include this new F1 car that doesn't fit in. I don't like the ones that are all stylized with all the extra add-ons and builds, but this is a slick classic sports car. And then we've got this Chevy Camaro muscle car, not retired yet. And we've got the, neither of those are good for me, but the Porsche 911, also not retired yet, but great design. I love all these. I want them for my own collection. The Ford Mustang just retired at the end of 23, 170, and it's showing 130 now. Like I've said many times in the past, I think these will be long hold times, but I think there's a chance. Maybe it's an outside chance. Maybe they're flying under the radar, but check the James Bond Aston Martin DB5. It did have a bunch of action features in it, but 150 to 187, that's okay. And then a couple others that are too stylized I don't like. But then if we go back to 2017, the Ferrari F40, $100 to $284. Now I want to be clear, results may vary, meaning that the results of all these other ones that we just looked at are not going to do the same. But I could see these going for $200 to $250 in a lot of cases some years down the road. 21340, Tales of the Space Age, another one with 2 mentions and an enthusiasm score of 2, and there's a bunch, so I'm not going to call out mentions or enthusiasm score for a while. This is an idea set. It's gorgeous. It's enchanting. It's space. I love it. I don't think it's going to be a great investment. I was higher on it when it first came out, but I'm cooling off just because, the pieces are just pretty common pieces. Not taking anything away from the fan designer or from Lego, but it's just a lot of bricks and plates and a couple of special pieces. People could pretty easily make this or something very close to it without buying the set. Therefore, I don't think it's going to be a great investment. 31133, the Creator 3-in-1 White Rabbit. Yeah, it's kind of cute. 3-in-1s don't do well typically. There's always 1 or 2, and maybe this is the 1 or 2 that'll do well, but I don't think I'll be paying too close attention to this one. It will have just a 1-year shelf life if it does retire at the end of this year. And next up is 31143, the Birdhouse, which I think is a Walmart exclusive, and I just realized that I don't have a tab open for this one, so let me pull that up real quick. Here we go. It came out 1st of January 23, expected to retire at the end of this year, so that'll have a 2-year shelf life, and I think I misspoke with the White Rabbit. I think it will will be a 2-year shelf life, because I think it came out at the beginning of last year. And this one I like a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 birds and the little baby bird inside. A lot going on for $30 and 476 pieces. Lego is leaning pretty heavily into bird related sets. It's a 4.4 on brick set, but if Lego's leaning into a lot of bird sets, then clearly their market research shows there's a lot of demand for them. I'm interested, and there are some other bird sets that I'm interested in. Let me put in bird since I wasn't prepared to talk about this set, but if we go to all matching sets and we go by release date, so we have the Night Fisher bird. This is a beautiful set. I'm not even a bird watcher guy or that much into birds. This one I will have in my collection. And let's keep scrolling down and find some other bird related. We've got the fauna collection. What are those? The macaw parrots. Yeah, the macaw parrots. That's kind of cool. Those hang on the wall. The exotic parrot that looks great. And Lego has this same exact set, but recolored in pink. So I think both of these could be decent. And here we go. Here's the pink one. Yeah, that one's actually the better of the two, in my opinion. It looks really nice pastel colors. All right, that's enough looking at Lego birds, but long story short, I think there might be something there. I'm going to watch them. Now on to the Harry Potter and Cho Chang Brickheadz 40616. I think it's the first time we're getting Cho in Brickheadz form. Brickheadz generally do okay, but the Harry Potter theme is cooling off a little bit. Some of the more recent Harry Potter Brickheadz sets have been slow out of the gate on the secondary market, but these two look good with good printing and detail. So maybe okay. I'm not too enthusiastic about them. 40651, the Australia postcard. These are kind of cool. And if you look, we've got 6 because the Beijing is listed here twice, but we've got 6 postcards. So a nice little set here. And we're looking at the Australia here, but take New York, a lot of nice detail. Take Paris. This one already retired, and okay detail on this. I think some of the others look better, but this one is from $15 to $24. I think the London postcard looks fantastic. So I honestly don't know what to think about these yet. Is the Paris postcard almost doubling in value already? When it only retired a few months ago? Is that an anomaly, and is everybody going to catch on and the rest of the postcards are going to be a dud, or is there some staying power with these and some potential runway? I don't really know. 43227, the Disney villain icon set. Very, very cool set. $130 for 1,500 pieces. It seems like there's a lot there for $130, and I want to go straight to the minifigures because these are the Disney villains, but they're the cool Disney villains like Maleficent. I always struggle to say that, but that is an amazing minifigure. Evil Queen in disguise. Gaston, everybody knows Gaston. And then Jafar. Oh man, these minifigures are great. And the set is really good. My only concern is the set kind of forgettable. Like you look at it and you think, wow, that looks fantastic. But then it's a VHS tape, an apple, some books, a clock. Does that kind of become less exciting to keep on display for a very long time? And is it going to be all about the minifigures and 4 minifigures, even though they're all exclusive at $130? Set is going to have a tough time pushing this set into the $200 or $250 range. Maybe I probably won't end up getting any of these, but it's something I'm going to keep an eye on in case there's a good discount. 71741, the Ninjago City Gardens. You guys know this is one of my favorite sets. I have it. I haven't built it yet. I keep saving it. I'm just like, I just can't wait until I open it up, but I'm enjoying the anticipation still. $350, but 5685 pieces. Tons of color, tons of detail, and just a huge old lineup of minifigures. These Ninjago City sets have done well, like the original one that retired in 2019 has more than doubled in price from $300 to $750. The one that retired in 2019, also Ninjago City Docks, has almost doubled from $230 to $586. And then we've got the new one, the Ninjago City Markets, and it's sounding like it may only be these 4. This one isn't as popular. It's a little chunky with the monorail in the middle, but I still like it a lot. I don't have the first 2, but I'm going to get this one, and maybe someday I'll fork over the secondary prices and get the first 2. And then also I want to show you that Lego came out with this Micro Ninjago City, not a gift with purchase. It was a insider points promo. I think it was 2,700 points, and that might still actually be going on, or it's sold. I haven't checked because I didn't want this one. And if we look at this box art, we can see the Lego has blank spaces for the other 3 big sets that we just looked at. So all signs indicate we're going to have 4 big sets and 4 micro scale sets, and it looks like that this sub-theme is going to be done. Obviously, everybody has taken notice that the first one more than doubled in value and the second one doubled in value. So there's going to be a lot more investors, but I still think that it goes up in pretty good value, maybe a longer hold time. Here's the other Indiana Jones that we were looking at a few minutes ago, 77012, the fighter plane chasing. Same comments as the other one. It's a great price, $35 for 387 pieces, 2 vehicles, the 3 minifigures, but I'm just concerned that it's going to be forgotten in the Indiana Jones Lego lore, if you will. 10305, the Lion Knight's Castle. It's an Icons Castle System set, so one of the few recent castle sets, $400, 4,500 pieces, a pretty good arrangement of minifigures. It's not retiring yet, so I still don't know what to think about this one. I probably will skip it for investing just because it's so big, but I still think it's great. 4.8 on Brickset, one of the highest Brickset scores you'll ever see. So maybe I should be thinking about it more for investment, but I'm waiting until there's even a whiff that it's going to be retiring at some point. 10312, the modular building Jazz Club, looks fantastic. I love the 3 main colors and all the exterior details. Modular buildings have done well in the past. They've slowed down a little bit recently. This one came out a year ago. I'm not getting too excited about it yet as an investment, but once it shows up on the retirement list, I'll take a look, and if we get a good discount, I might pick some up. The Ideas Disney Hocus Pocus, the Sanderson Sisters Cottage. That's a mouthful. 21341, super cool set. 230 seems a little expensive, but I like the gray, spooky, brown, rickety building. Even though this is part of Hocus Pocus, this building goes well with other buildings. For example, if we look down the Ideas line, we can get to like the A-frame cabin kind of goes together, or, there we are. There's the one we're looking at, the medieval blacksmith, or let's see if there's another one. I mean, heck, even the Home Alone building. So yeah, one that I like, but I want it on a good discount, and I haven't seen the movie, but I know that it's very popular. 40520, the Beijing postcard, not retiring at the end of this year, and I think I pulled up the wrong one because I think that the Chinese flag is not in the one that actually got released. Similar story as the other postcard, but not retiring yet, so I'm not gonna pay too much attention to it yet. 43242, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs Cottage just came out or was just revealed. I forget where we are on that. Obviously, you got to have all 7 dwarfs and some other key minifigures, and they're not even showing yet. So let me zoom in on the picture. They definitely look good. I like all the facial expressions. I don't like the building. I know that that's how it's supposed to look, but it looks like some cheddar cheese got melted on the roof. And again, I know that it's pretty close to how it's supposed to look, but it's just too chunky for me. So this one actually is not my favorite. I do like the foliage. But if we look at some previous Ideas sets that are kind of similar, they've kind of been a little bit disappointing. So like Winnie the Pooh, it hasn't gone anywhere, and I realized that I think on Amazon it came back for retail, so we're still waiting for this one to get 2 to 3 years under its belt from retirement. But then let's look at 123 Sesame Street that retired at the end of 22. It's from 120 to 128. I think that's a huge letdown for some folks. And then if we look at the Flintstones from 2020, it's 60 to 75. That's still not much either. So all of those have some commonality. Therefore, I'm not excited about this one. 75337, the ATTE Walker, doesn't have a retirement date yet, so it's going to have a long shelf life. Really good minifigures. I think the Walker's okay. Some people have commented it's the best that Lego has designed. It's cool. I don't know. I mean, I love them in the shows, movies and shows and everything, but it's just not one I've been overly excited about. And since it's not retiring at the end of this year so far, then I'm still not excited about it. And if it goes on too long, then I probably will end up skipping it. Now, a set that I always enjoy talking about, the Star Wars UCS Venator Cruiser 75367. Wow, it is so good. No interior. It's kind of a letdown. I wish there was, even if it was something micro or little pockets here and there that you could open up and, just have a few little Easter eggs in there. But outside of that, super, super cool. I know there's some frustration around the minifigures, but for me, this set is all about the ship and all about the Lego pieces coming together to build this. Great proportions, great shaping, great detail. I like the accent red color. Nice to have a little bit of color in the UCS Star Wars ship lineup. And here is that lineup going from the oldest to newest. And I've made this point before. First version of a UCS Star Wars ship, they all have done well. $100 to almost $1,000 for the TIE Interceptor. Similar for the X-Wing Fighter. And it just goes on. $200 to over $1,500. The Imperial Star Destroyer, $270 to $975. The Snowspeeder, not even a very good one. $130 to $960. The Y-Wing, $120 to $602. This original Death Star is $3,500. The original Millennium Falcon is $2,000. That used to be $5,000 before Lego made the bigger one and more Millennium Falcons. But nonetheless, this is a really good UCS. I know that a lot of people know and have seen the day that UCS Star Wars ships go way up in value, so I don't expect this one to be, $1,500 or anything like that. But with a $650 buy-in, I could see it doubling to $1,200, $1,300. 76178, the Daily Bugle. This is a fantastic set. I'm normally not too excited about Marvel and superhero sets, but this one is a true skyscraper. Tons of great minifigures. Love all the windows so you can easily see all the interior detail. The panels go off so you can put minifigures in there. You can take away the minifigures and take away all the parts that are breaking up just to make it look like a good solid skyscraper for your city. So there's a lot going for it. Has 2 mentions, E-score of 2 on the table, but I keep on losing interest because it's still not retiring yet. And now we're looking at 22, 23, 24, 25, over a 4-year shelf life if it retires next year. And if it's not retiring this year, then next year would be the earliest. But still, it's a fantastic set. I have one, and that was a must buy for me, still in the box, but I plan on building it someday. The idea is a tree house that just won't die because it's an awesome set. 21318. 2 mentions, enthusiasm score 1.5. That E-score is too high for me. It's one of my favorite sets, but it's just been out way too long for investing. People have been stuck hoarding these for years and years, waiting for it to go off the shelves, or at this point, just selling them for a loss and moving on. But it is a wonderful set by Lego. 21327, the typewriter, 2 mentions, E-score of 1.5. It's an idea set, and I've also talked about the Fender Stratocaster. Kind of similar opinions on both of them. I'm stronger on the Fender Stratocaster than I am on this one because this one's $250 for 2,079 pieces, but it is sand green, which is great. Bunch of printed letters there, which is great. So the pieces are valuable on average compared to other sets. It's a 4.5 on Bricks. That's a really good score. So I think it's flying under the radar, but I want it on a good discount. If I find it on a good discount, then I am definitely getting it because the mechanisms for this set are amazing. Let me go to some pictures that show, look at all that interior mechanism so that every time that you hit a key, one of those arms is swinging up like it's actually printing out what you are typing. So some of the best Lego engineering in a long time, to me, is a museum piece, but pretty narrow market, I think. I'm having trouble trying to figure out who out there in a couple of years is going to say to themselves, all right, my line of thinking is that I'm such a Lego enthusiast, or that I, understand and know that the engineering and the mechanisms in here are so fantastic that I have to have this set, so I'm going to pay $400 for it, or even $350 for it. Like I said, one to watch, but I want a really good discount. 21331, Sonic the Hedgehog Green Hill Zone. I've been talking about this one all last year too, because we thought it was going to retire for at least part of last year. It fell off of the retirement list. 2 mentions, enthusiasm score 1.5. I've never been excited about this set. It's $80, 1,100 pieces, but a bunch of 1x1 pieces. Only one minifigure. You can get more Sonic minifigures and the play sets, which I don't think will be a good investment either. I think at this point, the Sonic minifigures are cool, but I think at this point, the Sonic Brickheadz sets that all got talked about in my last video are really good. And I think a lot of people are going to go to those and ignore most of the other sets and buy the minifigures on the secondary market. So my opinion of this one is still not changing. The other reason is it's just so open in the back that wherever you display it, you're going to see a lot behind it. And I don't like that for a vignette or a diorama type set. A Disney Brickhead 40621, Moana and Merida. Looks really good. Nice detail. Love the hair on both of them. And if I were to show you the list, some of the Disney Brickheads in the past have done really well, and some of them have done okay. I think this one will be more in the okay category, but it looks good. 71374, the Nintendo Entertainment System, 2 mentions, enthusiasm score 1.5. That's a little lower than the E-score that it got through 2023 on average. It is expected to retire at the end of this year, so that's going to be a pretty long shelf life. 4 years and a few months. $270 seems really expensive. A lot of gray, black, and brown. Not a lot of color other than on the TV screen, which is good. You want the TV screen part to really pop and stand out. For some reason, I just haven't been excited about this one. There's some people that are saying, hey, once you build it, you'll appreciate it and it'll be a great investment. I still like the Atari 2600 better than this one, even though this one probably has more of an audience since the Atari came out way before the NES, and there aren't many Atari Atari players around anymore, but there are still Nintendo players, and Nintendo is still a thing. But it does have a 4.6 on Brickheadz, so that's pretty good. But I'm still very, very cautious with this set. 76224, Batmobile, Batman versus the Joker, because they're all Batman versus the Joker right now. $48, very expensive. The minifigures are basically throwaways because we get Batman and Joker all the time. But the vehicle's pretty good. Pretty good. So I'm maybe on this one, but it would have to be a really good discount. The reason I'm maybe is because the large UCS equivalent Batmobile that retired in 21 has gone from $250 to $355. But the next one, 76265, Batwing, Batman versus the Joker again. This one's only $38. Interesting price points. Again, a Batman and Joker minifigure. It looks cool. I actually think this one looks better than the last one, but it's a big no for me as an investment because the big UCS Batwing that a lot of people are excited about that retired over a year ago has gone from $200 to $203. So not good on that one. 10318, the Concord, 2 mentions, enthusiasm score of 1.5. It came out last September, so it hasn't been out very long. And this is an interesting one because it kind of came out of left field. The Concord is long gone. It's not the most pleasing looking aircraft, but it certainly has its place in history, and it's a unique looking aircraft. I mean, that's a cool angle and it's unique looking, and the whole triangle shape of the wing and the bulk of the fuselage is pretty interesting. And so I think there will be some enthusiasts that will like this set. Tiny micro scale interior, but it's nice that it's there. I wish the Venator had a little something similar, like I was saying, but it's way too early to tell. We don't even have a retirement date yet, but I do want to point out a few sets that are similar from way in the past, and it's not like Lego comes out with sets like this very often. They spread these out. But here's the Boeing 787 Dreamliner that retired in 2008. It was an $80 set, and it's $754 today. Here is the Sopwith Camel that retired in 2014. It was a $100 set. It's $221 today. Both of those are super cool sets. And then I thought I had one more, but nope, that was the end of those. And so obviously the Bouquet of Roses is coming next, and that has no relation to the Concord. So back to the Concord. I think it could be a pretty long hold time. If there's a decent discount, I'm going to get a few. I'm definitely going to get one for myself. I love jets and airplanes and all that kind of stuff. So I absolutely will be building one myself, but I want a couple to prospect if the sale price is right. All right, now on to that Bouquet of Roses. 10328 just came out, so who knows? Tons of botanical sets. Bird of Paradise is the first one that retired. I think it's going for around 110 to 130. A lot of people got it for $40, $50. So if they got it super discounted, it was a great investment. Outside of that, we don't have much data to go off of, and there are tons of botanical sets, and they are selling like crazy. I mean, during the holidays on Amazon, you could see sales velocity of 60, 70, 80,000 units for each of the botanical sets in a month. Just craziness. I just don't know what to think yet on these, but I do like the set. I think the roses are really well done, and I think if you're willing to hold it for a long time, you absolutely will make money. But I'm curious, if I hold it for 2 or 3 years, will it make money? Oh, and don't forget, my videos are for entertainment purposes only. I do not provide financial advice. You got to get that from somebody else. 2 more on our table that we're going to talk about in this video that got 2 mentions. The first one is the Pirate Snub Fighter. Only an enthusiasm score of 1. That is way too high. It shouldn't even be on this table, in my opinion. 75346. It's a nice little set if you're a kid and playing with it, and the minifigures are what they are, but for investing, it's terrible. Crazy expensive at $35. My son has one. Love building it, loves playing with it, loves the minifigures, but there's just nothing there for investing. And then the last one to look at is 76240, the Batmobile Tumbler, $270 for only 2,049 pieces. Just like the Batwing is not doing well, I don't think this one will do well in the secondary market. I think the large UCS Batmobile, Batman type vehicles was a one and done in terms of a good investment with the actual Batmobile itself. All right, so now I'll wrap up with my top 3 and bottom 3, and then I'll do part 3 of this table next, and we're going to talk about some pretty good stuff. They only got 1 mention, but a high enthusiasm score, you know, like the Pink Parrot, the Tuscan Raider Brickhead that's retiring at the end of this year, the Diorama, City of Lanterns, some new Brickheads. So that'll be a good one to go through too. So my third place good set is this Eve and Wally Brickhead. Brickheads are just riding a wave right now, and this is a nice little set from a great movie that has lots of popularity and nostalgia. I'm not a big Brickhead builder myself, but I actually would like these two in my own collection. collection, but I definitely think they'll be a good investment. My second place good set is New Republic E-Wing versus Shin Hati Starfighter. This assumes that it actually retires at the end of this year, and the main reason is because these minifigures are really good. They're all exclusive. If we can get this set for maybe 85, 90 bucks after stacking discounts and promos, then we're doing pretty well since these minifigures already make up over $60. If it doesn't retire at the end of this year, then my story will change a little bit. And then I'm going to do a little trick here with my number one set. It is 75387 boarding the Tantive 4. It's not a diorama set. Originally, the rumors were we were getting a Tantive 4 boarding diorama. Instead, this is like the Dark Trooper attack that retired at the end of last year. It's a hallway scene. And my little trick is that if I scroll up the table here and I go to where we have an enthusiasm score of 2.5, you notice it's on the table, and I absolutely just skipped over it during the video. So sorry about that, but this set is great. $55 for 502 pieces. It feels a little expensive, but if we zoom in here, we can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minifigures, and they all look fantastic. And I don't think the minifigure details are in here yet. Nope, they are not. Here we go. They all look fantastic. Nice to get a couple of the stormtroopers and some good guys. And then we've got Darth Vader. And what they don't show us is the 25 years of Lego Star Wars ARC Trooper 5's exclusive figure for this set. And then again, we get the rebels and the bad guys. Yes, it's another hallway scene like Dark Trooper Attack. I'm in the minority here, but I like the hallway scenes. Star Wars hallways are some of the coolest sets, especially in the original movies. You know, like you walk down there, it's so clean and smooth. It's modern and metallic. It's sci-fi. You know, I'd love to have a hallway in my house like that with a door that goes whew. You know, it definitely pulls me in. And as a kid, I saw those scenes and always thought that is so futuristic and cool. I'm a big fan of this set. 7 minifigures, $55. I'm sure we'll get a chance to get a little discount on it. And it's way too early to tell because it just came out, but it is one that I am excited about. All right, now to my bottom 3 from this video. My third place of the bottom 3 is the Ideas Treehouse. The only reason is because it's been out for a long time and a lot of people are hoarding it. Outside of that, it's a fantastic set, but it's just not going to be a good investment in my opinion. And then the second one that I'm not investing in from this table is the Ideas Tales of the Space Age. Again, another fantastic set. I mean, just really pleasing. And I'm going to build it and put it on the wall probably at work someday. But because it's so simple, you know, it's just bricks and plates stacked for the most part. I don't think there's much there from an investment perspective. And then the number one worst set in this video, it was an easy one. It's the Star Wars Pirate Snub Fighter with these 2 minifigures that on the surface look pretty good. Lots of nice detail and everything. But then, oh wait, they have the same headpieces and the same faces and expression, which seems kind of weird. And it's really niche. You know, as Mandalorian, it was a cool scene, but it wasn't when Mandalorian was at its peak of popularity. And then, of course, the $35 for 285 pieces and these 2 so-so minifigures. All right, thanks a lot for watching. Like I said, part 3 from this table is coming next. That's a wrap, and I will catch you in the next one.